Yo, what's up? So today we're gonna get started with some. Today we're gonna get started with some if statements. So let's go ahead and do something right now. Same routine. If video. This is going to be the name of our class, and as always, we have to save the file name the same as our class, and it has to start with a capital first letter. So it's going to be. We're gonna be using. Let's go ahead and use import java.util.scanner. And this scanner, we already covered it in another video, but what we're gonna do in this one is we're gonna set up a scanner so it can receive user input, and then we're gonna get started with some if statements. So I'm making a comment right here on my program saying getting started with conditional statements. All right, cool. So now we go ahead and get started with our program. So it's going to be public class if video. Again, same name of our file, and it has to be with a capital first letter of the name. So now we're going to get started with our main method. Is going to be public static void main string args. And now we have our code block set up for our main method, and from here we're going to set up our scanner, which is going to be scanner whatever object name, literally whatever name you want for this, you can put it like that. You can set up whatever name you want. It doesn't have to be something specifically. System.in. So I have scanner, my scanner name equals new scanner object with system.in in parentheses. That way we can start using the scanner, right? So let's go ahead and get started and see if it works. System.out.print line, and let's go ahead and say what is your name, just to get started with the scanner again in case you need a little refresher. Set up our data type, variable name, string name equals our object name dot next line. All right, cool. And let's go ahead and spit out our name again, system.out.print, and let's go ahead and say name right here. What I'm doing right here is I'm going to ask the user, what is your name? The user is going to provide his or her name, and then we're going to print out the name. Just to make sure, again, it's a good habit to run your code before you start writing a lot of lines. That way you can catch errors as soon as possible. What is your name? All right, great. So let's go ahead and get started. So system.out.print line. Are you a male or female? This escape sequence right here. So I'm going to do \n, just one \n. That is going to start a new line feed. And you know what? I'm going to take line from here, and I'm going to say system.out.print. Are you a male or female? And in parentheses here, I'm going to write male equals M, and another line sequence. Let's go ahead and do two line sequences here. It's just for so the user can see this a little bit better. Female equals F, right? So now I'm going to write a line feed, and I'm going to say type your corresponding letter. That should be good. Let's see if it runs. We'll go ahead and compile this. All right, so it ran successfully, and then I'm going to ask what is your name? Geo. Okay, great. Are you a male or a female? Male equals M, female equals F. Type your corresponding letter. Cool. Let me go ahead and actually do all mine. Okay, great. And I'm just going to do one line feed here and a line feed here, and you'll see in a little bit why I'm doing all of this. So what I'm doing here is now I'm going to ask what is your name. So I'm compiling this and I'm running this, and name male or female, corresponding letter should go over here. But since I did not initiate a variable set to my object for my scanner, it's not going to read that. It's just going to print it out. Good thing you caught that beforehand. So let's go ahead and write string gender equals whatever object name dot next line. And now what we're going to do here is we're going to click enter, and we're going to do a quick if statement. So it's going to be if gender dot equals, and this is going to be for a string. Usually for if statements, you're going to write something like this: if something, and that something means true, or you can do 2 equals 2, like that. But I'm comparing literal strings, so let me go ahead and set up string boy equals m, string female equals f. And a good thing to do, you can go ahead and set this data type set to a character. That way you can get familiar with various data types, but in this case I'm just going to use a string just for the sake of time. So if gender dot equals ignore case boy system dot out dot print line, you are a boy. And now let's go ahead and do another if statement. If gender dot equals ignore case, and it's a good habit to use ignore case because sometimes the user might put a lowercase m for male or a lowercase f for female, and the program will tend to obviously disqualify that answer and throw in an error saying I do not know what to do with this input. So if we ignore the casing, if the user types in a lowercase m, then the program is going to understand that that m stands for a male. So let's go ahead and do system.out.println, you are a female. Great. Now let's see if this runs. So completed successfully. So let's go ahead and see. GOS. Okay, great. Are you a male or female? So type in your corresponding letter. So I am a male. You are a boy. Wonderful. Let's do it again for the female version. So GO. Are you a male or a female? F. And see that I wrote this in lowercase f, whereas this one is in uppercase f. So now I'm saying type your corresponding letter, lowercase f. Going to ignore the casing. You are a female. Wonderful. Alright, great. So now let's go ahead and get started with a little bit of numbers. So let's say system.out.println, how many siblings do you have? So what I am doing here is I'm going to ask the user how many siblings does he or she have, and let me put if, and this is going to be an integer, so it's going to be int siblings equals whatever object dot next int. Okay, so if siblings, I hope that I spelled that right. If siblings is greater than 0, right, let's just say if they have any siblings, type in dot print. I'm not going to ask them how many, but well, I'll just ask them how many, but I won't give them any space to write their answer. So let's see. What is your name? Geo. Male or female? Male. You're a boy. How many siblings do you have? 0. End of program. Alright, let's do it again. What is your name? Gio West. Male or female? Male. You're a boy. How many siblings? 1. How many? And I'm not asking them how many. Like, I'm not actually giving them any space to input their number of siblings, but you get the gist. So next video, what we're going to do is, you see how I'm asking here how many? What we're going to do is we're going to allow them to put how many, and then we're going to get started with loops. We're going to get started with a while loop and a for loop, and asking them how many siblings do you have, and then giving them a chance to input the name for each corresponding sibling according to what they put. So I hope you enjoyed this one. This is just a little beginner's video on if statements. If this goes well, then I'll go ahead and post a little bit more advanced stuff with if and else, and we'll see where we go from there. Alright, let me know what you think. Appreciate it.